Welcome, Free Enterprise fans, to the first match of the Highway to the Threemus Zone playoffs between our number 4 seed Bakashinobi and our number 10 seed penguin8r, both coming out of the Magic Sisters group. I'm CommanderLeonhart, and I'm here with Gambit017 for commentary, and I am super pumped.
So am I, Commander Leonhart. This is going to be a great match. It was absolutely hilarious when Baka decided to draft penguin8r as his first opponent, mainly because they came out in the same group in the group phase, that Maggot Sisters group. And you seem to know something about that, don't you?
Little bit. I might have been shoved into the hook route courtesy of the Magic Sisters group. But yeah, I faced off against both of these runners. I lost to both of them. I was not surprised. They're both, anyone that's gotten this far is really good, and these two runners are no exception.
So, looking at our objectives for tonight, this one could take one of two different ways. We've got your standard forge, you've got raise the big whale, conquer vanilla ribbon room. Those will both require the darkness crystal, and then defeat the king in town and summon monsters, which that just requires underground access of some sort. So, depending on underground and moon access, we could be looking at a little bit of a jet.
Yeah, there's potential for Jet, and there's also potential for it to be really rude. I mean, these are great runners, but neither of those spots are slouches. Ribbon Room is the beefiest spot on the moon, and we've seen more than one rude ball show up at Leviathan to block progress. There's still potential for this to be rough if either the Ribbon Room or the King has a tough boss and pieces of another objective behind it.
And if I saw correctly, Baka just kind of sifting over for a second, that looked like our favorite Dark Knight start, didn't it?
He did. Cecil start is super spicy on table flags with vanilla agility. I am here for it. I am absolutely on team Cecil vanilla agility be darned. But I know that for some people, seeing that Cecil start is going to start making them shudder and rethink their entire strategy.
And not only the fact, you're forced to keep him because Permajoin is on, and you have to take that first character. So he's going to be in your party the whole time. Now we'll just have to see if they find second Cecil along the way.
Yeah, second Cecil, or at the least, because with both that King spot, and the King spot in particular is really fast, and there are a lot of rude bosses where you're going to want that perfect anchoring system of 4 characters at RA1, and if you don't find a curse ring, you're probably not going to get it.
Also, I love Berserk Now's message in chat. Let's see a starting Crystal Sword just to send the message. I would love that.
That would be great. I would absolutely enjoy that.
But we are underway, and our second character is, well, look at that. There's our second Cecil.
Well, you wanted second Cecil. Well, quick magma. Okay, that calms things down.
So the entirety of the overworld and underworld is now your oyster, and all you need is darkness crystal for quote-unquote go mode.
Yeah, darkness crystal is go mode all by itself. So get moving. Bakashinobi keeps finding himself in jet seed races throughout this tournament. This is starting to look like no exception. And as Aaron Lore pointed out, that even though Groundflyer rolled this seed, Evil Wall did not make its way to the King at the Town of Monsters.
Now we can still have some rather nasty things down there. I'm kind of hoping for a Wyvern down there at this point, just because you've got that Cecil, you've got that vanilla agility. Wyvern would be absolutely horrible.
Yeah, that will be a true test of our runners' knowledge and ability. Oh, we have Tella, the darling of table flags, hanging out.
Yeah, I am all on board with hashtag Tella Life. That is our favorite betrayer in Watery Pass.
Yep. And you know you've got a Cecil. The Kane is a popular pick, but Baka leaving him behind for now. Normal move most of the time for most characters.
Meanwhile, penguin8r is about to show us who's in the Mist Cave today, doing that vanilla mist check.
Getting that out of the way early.
Oh, there's the Wyvern I was talking about.
That's going to be a huge relief for penguin8r, starting out with that Cecil. Wyvern is the biggest threat to a not properly anchored party. Seeing him safely in Mist Cave is a huge relief.
Yeah, I absolutely hate that. That's one that you want to see as a viewer somewhere else, but as a runner, you're seeing that going, I have that starting Cecil. I don't have to worry about over grinding or anything anymore. I don't have to worry about finding all the agility manipulating gear. I am okay. Wyvern's not going to be a problem. I saw on Baka's side a black armor pickup from that Damsian basement. It's going to be some decent armor, at least until we decide to go up ordeals. Keep that Cecil kind of protected a little bit.
Yeah, and chat also noticing a Dwarf Axe in Damsian that I missed. That's good for back rowing Kane and also helps with those agility anchoring issues once ordeals has been climbed.
Meanwhile, we have a Punch Mage hanging out in the top of Damsian today.
Yep. Also, someone that's probably going to be waiting in the Tower of Wishes. Punch Mage is great if you can hit him with a slingshot right before doing your grind. Pick him up then, but it's rough if you have to carry him the whole way.
Yeah, whereas Penguin gave us the early check of Mist Cave, Baka giving us the early check of the waterfall, and that is a Dark Knight Cecil in there.
That's another boss that could have been a rude choice for the King of Town of Monsters spot, and it is now off the table.
Ground, if this is Val up here on Hobbs, I'm going to request a reroll.
I think Ground might request one too.
Oh, that's a third Cecil and bonus round.
Oh, it's a third Cecil and D-Miss. Oh, we already have the magma, but there's still potential for this spice. Hobbs, with all the free characters, can sometimes get overlooked. So if there's something important with Rydia's mom, that could be big.
Baka going to say, all right, enough of this. I'm taking my magma key. I'm dropping it down the well. Let's go underground.
Get to the better loot under the T-Pro flag set. Nobody's going to miss out on D-Mist.
Yeah, Penguin8r are going to make that Hobbs check, find that third Cecil, find bonus round. I would not be surprised to see a reset out of it for right now, because single Dark Knight against D-Mist here, probably not what you want to do. I take that back. I forgot. Penguin8r took the cane.
And I believe chat mentioned he had found a flame spear in Dragoon. Yep, there it in Baron. So there it is. So looks like he's going to go for it. Oh, and showing off it uses an item with a quick fire tube.
But resets out not really that much damage, only 300. That would have been a very, very long fight. Penguin8r are probably saying, I'll come back to that when I've got a little bit more levels and can get through that a little faster.
Yeah. That would have been about 6 rounds combat to get through that, maybe even 7 depending on the rolls. You don't want to sit through that.
Oh, there's a white mage.
For him. See, party with a white mage, definitely better than party without. Penguin8r's gonna wait. Could have Rosa waiting in Cydia, for example, and give me the choice between those two. I'll take Rosa every day.
So Blizzard Spear and Elven Bow for sale here in Dwarf Castle, as well as the elusive curse ring.
There's the curse ring. So between that and the Dwarf Axe, there's absolutely no fear when it comes to agility anchoring.
There's a vanilla white mage.
Ooh. And a black sword. Black armor was all right. The black sword, much better.
And that's vanilla twins in Mysidia.
Give me all of this vanilla. We've got a vanilla Cecil to start. Vanilla twins. Tasty.
And Penguin takes both twins. I love it. I love to see it.
Yeah. Alum only has maybe 2 fights where before he can start contributing. and with level 2 elemental spells, and Twin will carry the load until then. And there are a few niche spots where Twin being on a different wavelength than standard black magic helps get around some counter scripts.
Yeah, from the seeds I played earlier before the table rounds of table seeds, Twin magic can get you through the overworld pretty easily.
Yeah, it's a great story.
Meanwhile, Baka saves coming to chest, finds a warrior chest immediately in the Fey March. It's going to be nice so he can loot everything else.
Yep. Yeah. Spend as little time as possible locating it and charge straight down and loot the whole place. Loot in this cave is even better than it is in town because of that trap chest.
At least it would be if any of these chests had anything in it. Sparse 60 really hitting the Fey March hard.
Here we have a little run. Charm Rod is a great stat stick for when Bakashinobi gets around to finding the Quack Kid. Oh, but yeah, Sparse did hammer that cave something fierce.
Meantime, penguin8r picking up those twins, goes back to that Threemus, is going to say, all right, time to take you on here.
Bakashinobi finds a ribbon and the Fey March. Not a progression, but a wonderful gear nonetheless.
In the meantime, penguin8r, one buff, one flare, one Threemus down. We'll find out what that bonus item is coming up shortly.
Using Twin very well there. The bluff and then having Porum take the action means that it will be keyed to Porum's wisdom for that, or Palom's wisdom, excuse me, for that Twin cast.
We find Ashura is the only item for sale in the Fey March. It'd be nice if we find Iridia, but otherwise nothing to come back for.
I'm a fan of a ribbon in Sky. I will take the various status protection and all around good physical and magical defense that it offers.
And that's a free king spot.
Ground Flyer, please.
So that is objective number 4. That is completely and utterly free.
Check your objectives. Like, the only reason for Baka to leave this behind now is that the only person he has here will lose all of that experience once he goes up ordeals.
Yeah, but the moment that penguin8r goes down there, that's going to be the first fight he takes. I guarantee it.
Well, that, and actually debatable if a level 10 Dark Knight Cecil can actually get through that fight on his own.
Speaking of fun fights, we found the alt gauntlet down in Antline.
Yeah, that's kind of rude. It'll take a little while, even with twins and Palom working.
Yeah, but thankfully the use of the flame spear from Kane, the twins magic, that's going to make that a little bit easier.
Yeah, it'll make it go a bit faster. And it's not rude in terms of, like, there's no way penguin8r loses this fight. Just a little time consuming. But you're right, without a flame spear and with twin magic, that'll at least slow it down or speed it up.
At the point Baka deciding I'm going to take a couple extra people, takes the Kane, takes the Palom. It's going to rock a 3-person party for a little bit.
Nereza and Vanilla, there is no alt gauntlet. The alt gauntlet is a change up of the Fabul gauntlet, which is located in Fabul.
Yeah, in the vanilla game, when you're in Fabul, you get attacked by a series of 6 monster attacks. There's going to be a 2 soldiers and officer fight, 3 monsters, 2 soldiers, officers, gargoyle, 3 monsters, and then 2 officers, 2 soldiers, officer. Instead of having all that in this, we decided to have the alt gauntlet pull from the monsters in the area of the fight.
Yeah, that flag came in pretty recently to the randomizer, right?
It's been around for almost a year now, I think. I'm not exactly positive.
Fair enough. Penguin8r's through, gets a gold apple for his trouble.
Well, it's like Chad pointing out, the All Gauntlet flag was something that came around just before the full Gauntlet tournament. So, yeah, about a year now.
I didn't realize it had been that long. Penguin8r making that Threemus check, and we have music possible.
The question is, will Penguin8r be a man of the people and go check that music?
Probably not anytime soon, but maybe eventually. It's a slow check for one key item, and there are better options available. I'm hoping that we get a hold of it soon.
And our wonderful one of our developers, Scarlet Kitty, reminding us, the Gauntlet was at the start of this year. It just feels so longer.
Right. Feels.
But Penguin8r going to Baron Inn is going to try to take on these two fights, pick up that Tella, probably going to go ahead and use Tella to fill out the party.
So, funny thing here. If this spot's fast enough, Dr. Luge isn't even going to get to say ouch. Oh, nope. Never mind. Balnabu can one-shot Dr. Luge in this spot. Okay, I've never seen that done. That's even funnier.
You've never seen Balnab punch himself?
No, I've never pulled off the fight in that manner. That's hilarious.
And that is a Baron? Nope, Kaipo guards behind it.
Oh, not quite French vanilla guards. And with no XP in this spot, there's no reason to try and take out the officer. Just get the soldiers down and let him retreat.
Yeah, unfortunately, the soldiers, knowing who to take on, takes out the Palom. Gonna have to raise him up so we can get that twin cast off. And one twin ought to be enough to take care of the soldiers.
Yeah. We'll get to see where Bakashinobi goes next, having gotten through the gauntlet and received his own apple.
Yeah, but in the meantime, Baka is got all the soldiers down, the officers retreating, about to find out what we're going to get other than the Tella from here. You know, if we find an Avenger, I don't mind that pickup there.
No, yeah, with an Avenger, it's fine. You'd still prefer the sword, but you take it.
In the meantime, Baka heading back down to the Fame March. I believe he says 3 people is fine. I'm going to go ahead and take on that King Queen. And Penguin8r finding Cure 2s and Thor Rages look like in the Baron shop.
Well, the Thor Rages will be a little more interesting. It's possible Rude Kenauzo's hanging out in the Ribbon Room. If so, those Thor Rages will be very nice. Penguin8r looks like he's going to go turn Cecil to a Paladin before moving on.
I think it's more to get Tella spells online.
Fair. That also is valid.
So if I'm
without him online,
if I'm Baka here, is Darkness Crystal the one item I want to see from this fight?
I think if you're Baka, you're expecting it.
Very true. Number of dead
Darkness
seeds he's
crystal,
gone
after
through.
all.
Wrong spot, karate.
I mean, if I were karate, the one spot I'd hang out at is the one spot where I can be guaranteed not to find a paladin staring me in the face. I guess there are two spots.
Yeah, but the kick around the world so much more fun.
The other spot is better, it's true.
Anyway, Baka getting Palom all the way up to Virus with that King Queen spot. Ends up with the Luca key.
Well, if it's Vanilla Darkness, that's the way. And if it is, it's going to be a while before anyone gets there, I think.
Yeah, that Luca check's probably going to be one of the very last checks because you don't really want to go down there if you can help it. It's a very long walk down, long walk back up.
Bakashinobi, I'm going to guess, is going to set up a Sheila 1 and go to Fabul and knock out the doubles. And this is why I don't guess.
And in the meantime, we find another one of our free fights in the back attack of our deals. That's the Water Hag.
Well, that's one freebie that can't show up at the moon. We already saw a freebie for Queen Evelyn and King of Monsters, so no Water Hag in the Ribbon Room.
So the only cheesable bosses left in the pool that I can think of is Bahamut, Baron Guards, and Dark Imps. Because we've seen Kaipa Guards, we've seen DKC, we've seen Water Hag, we've seen King Queen.
Yep, those are a lot of the free cheese.
Meantime, Penguin throws a Water Hag off a bridge, wonders why Eddie didn't do it before, and goes into the crystal room.
Indeed. Aaron Lore pointing out in chat, dolls are somewhat cheesable. You could toad the back row, or if we're lucky enough to find an hourglass somewhere, there's a few ways. Mom Bomb. A lot of purely physical bosses could be Cecil covered, and that's not pure cheese, but it's at least something to make it more manageable.
So Penguin 8r picking up the Baron key from Mount Ordeals. That opens up a couple more checks.
Oh, there's the Mom Bomb.
And this is not a spot you want to see Mom Bomb in. Mom Bomb script, you get an extra 9,000 hit points for the whole transformation thing. This spot only should have 1,000. Instead, now you have 10,000 hit points to chew through.
Well, unfortunately, they won't have to chew through the whole 10k to trigger the explode. They just have no chance of getting through without facing an explode. Let it
Exactly.
hard and just twin it up afterwards and call it.
Yep, that looks to be what Penguin's going to do. Waits for the explode, then sets up the twin, and that should take care of all the small bombs.
And done. It's just a bit long for this fight. And it also means you're not going to be finding a Mom Bomb somewhere else.
Meantime, it looks like Fabul has made the elements mad, because here they come.
Will we get quarter leg, or is a virus a one-shot? Thinking a one-shot. Yep.
Virus is a one-shot. Sorry, leg, not today.
Maybe leg somewhere else. Leg at Twin Harp would be surprisingly kind.
That's a pan.
Yeah. Oh, that's a fun place to see Pan.
And now Baka's choice of... Did Baka set up Sheila 1? Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yes.
No, he didn't.
Oh, no, yeah, you're right. He didn't. He probably...
I did.
Like, when... I didn't think I thought he hadn't. But then when he ran here, I thought I must have missed it. Clearly, no, he did not set it up.
Yeah, I said I thought we were talking before after he left Dwarf Castle that you were saying he would go straight to Sheila 1, but he didn't.
You're right.
It actually makes for a better play because now he only has to single dip that Sylph Cave.
Yeah. The pan in the Fabul spot is the one time where you cannot avoid double dipping Fabul, but you can still single dip the cave.
Meanwhile, Penguin8r having made every check except for Fabul on the overworld, says, all right, enough of this. I'm going to take my magma key. I'm going underground for a little bit. True, our restreamer pointing out Penguin8r does have Baron and Twin Harp still left available, but I was more meaning the free checks in the overworld.
Has been? Yeah, yes, he's cleared top. But yeah, the sphere 0 checks, so to speak.
So Baka uses the pan on Yang. Yang wants to sleep in. The Sylphs are going to give us... That's a nice piece of gear.
Yeah, not progression, but you do love 10 points of strength on whatever warrior you choose. And if we end up... I was about to say if we end up doing Mac Giant grinds, and then I thought about Tella and went, never mind.
Baka is racing straight back to Fabul. Going to turn in Sheila 1, Sheila 2 at the same time. In the meantime, Penguin about to find out the wonderful news of the freebie in the King of Town of Summon Monsters.
And that will get him the Luca key, and we'll see what happens next.
I wonder if Penguin is going to check and see who that leader Sparkle is in the Queen spot while he's here. I know Baka did not even look.
Well, between our two runners, we have all of the keys.
Yep, that's a tower key from Sheila 1, and there's our Avenger from Sheila 2, so take that with a Drain Spear, and we've got a way to kill Zeromus already.
Just got to get there. And yeah, as Chad is pointing out, the world is opening up a lot of possibilities for divergence. That's in many ways the opposite of a jet seat, when you've got to be able to choose right, and you might get sucked down a long path that leads to nothing, trying to find the way to Zeromus.
To answer a question in chat, how does Drain and Avenger work together? By doing what's called the Avenger glitch. If you start with any weapon equipped, such as the Drain Spear, and then you switch over in battle to the Avenger's script is basically auto berserk shoot, but the game never updates which weapon you were using, so you'll keep attacking, but the game will think you still have that previous weapon, in this case a Drain Sword or Drain Spear on, so we'll keep giving you that attack power and the benefit of the drain effect coming back to you. As Becca pointing out in chat, it's not the Avenger specifically, it's a glitch you can reproduce with the Berserk spell as well. But in the meantime, as our...
Yeah.
Go ahead, Commander, sorry.
It's just not so much a glitch with the Berserk spell. That's functioning as intended. You wouldn't expect picking up someone holding an Avenger to have a drain effect or a completely different weapon.
So while our runners are kind of crisscrossing here, I do want to give a special thanks to our restreamer Groundflyer and our tracker Nitsky doing all the work behind the scenes. Without them, we wouldn't be able to be here putting on this show for you.
Yep, it takes a full team. And thanks everyone in chat for coming by to hang out with us for the very first playoff match of Highway to the Threemus Zone.
Is Penguin8r going to give us our job dwarf?
It looks like it. Oh, that's cold, penguin8r. That's cold, man.
Penguin8r turning heel here in this first game of the playoffs.
I mean, you want to skip the entire town because you're in a hurry. I understand. I get it. That's cool. You want to run in there, loot the chests, and then just not check the job dwarf? Man.
But that's a big find in that item shop. Editor 2's. Once we find that darkness crystal with Tella in hand, you've got your grind online. Meantime, Baka getting his Baron key, turns his Paladin or Dark Knight into a Paladin. And in the meantime, Penguin8r setting up Sheila 1 before going to do Dwarf or Fabul is unfortunately going to have to dip the Silk Cave twice.
So the fun thing about this now for the runners, while they're double checking each other's work, is we're best of 3. Regardless of how this race turns out, these runners get one more match with each other.
Yeah, here in the playoffs, the first 3 rounds of the playoffs, the top 16, top 8, top 4, are all best of 3s. So they'll play at least 2 games against each other, a third if we're tied 1-1 at the end of that. Once we get to the finals, it goes up to a best of 5.
Yeah, and you don't want to be down 1 and find yourself in a position where you have to win 2 straight to get the job done, but at least it's not 1 and 1 done. You can go to this race with a little less pressure on.
Speaking of, I see people in chat asking about the additional ones. Game 2 of this set is currently scheduled for Wednesday at 8 p.m. And Game 3, if necessary, does not look like it has been scheduled yet.
Nope. Shinobi, gonna go pick up Stella, Penguin8r, having gotten the pan, and Sheila 1. Or, no, hasn't gotten the pan yet? Just the Sheila 1? Okay, no, has the pan.
Yeah, Penguin completed the Fabul defense, got that pan, checked that Sheila 1, got the tower key. Wouldn't be surprised to see him go straight back down to that self cave, go ahead and get that pan check taken care of, even though we here in the booth know it's not going to lead to anything at all.
Yep, you check your freebies. You didn't get this far by not knowing that rule. And so that's going to leave both runners with the same options and a lot of them. You could dive Baron Castle. You could check music. You could run the tower with the key or do the Penguin8r special and just do keyless. You could go poke at that sparkle at Feymarch.
There's still plenty of checks on the overworld. Pretty much the only check on the actual Earth that's not open to us right now is going to be that Rat Tail and that Tower Zot. Everything else is wide open.
Yeah. Chasman, the pan was the Fabul defense reward. Bakashinobi gets to choose first, getting through these checks just a little bit quicker than Penguin8r. Penguin8r's not far behind. And Bakashinobi goes for a twofer at the tower.
I think this is kind of the better play here. You've got 3 bosses for 2 key items in Baron, but one of those bosses is real hard. You've got 2 bosses for 2 possible key item stops here in the tower. Whereas 2 bosses, 1 key item in Dwarf, and 1 long walk for 1 key item in Luca.
Yeah, and a potentially rude 1 boss, 1 fight in Feymark.
So one thing I want to point out here, with the fact that Baka is still rocking a 3-character party, whereas Penguin8r's picked his full party. A Legend, Adamant, and Darkness Crystal and Past. If we get those combination of 4, with the Darkness Crystal being the last thing we find, Baka is going to be in a better spot because he can still do a door grind, pick up 2 characters, sling them off of some doors.
Yeah, or sling them off the D machine grind as well. Either way.
And chat pointing out to me that Baka did take Tella. That's his 4th character. I missed it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'd lost count too. I believed you when you said there were 2.
And that is not who you want to see at the top of this tower.
Yeah, this spot has really low stats and it can be a bit free for a lot of other bosses that would be rude, but it isn't hurting for hit points, and Kainazo's main attack is based on his current HP.
Yeah, and this is a high HP spot, so whereas Kainazo's physical attack's not going to hurt at all, that wave will easily one-shot this party if it's not at least taking some HP down before then.
Yeah, it's gonna be close. There might be enough damage for Cecil and Kane to get through 1 wave. Be close. But they're then at that point in real trouble.
Yeah, Baka's put out some pretty good damage so far. There's a Zeus Rage. That'll drop the wave, or the water at least, but was the wave already queued?
That is the question. It's the timing. All right, it is answered. Punch comes, so no wave. I think Bakashinobi is fine.
Yeah, use up the Lit Bolt with Cecil again. It has the Quake queued up with Palom. Avenger Kane just going to town. At this point, I think he's done enough damage that Kane and Cecil survive a wave no matter what.
Yeah, and we might even be pushing Palom surviving. And now it's Penguin8r's turn to dance the same dance. Well, he's got a bit more hit points on a Paladin Cecil there, if it came down to just having to tank through the waves.
Yeah, but Baka successfully threw that turtle. That was a very, very good and clean fight.
Yep.
And that's our go mode.
Bam, and it's the required fight. Nice. Yeah, Bakashinobi taking that down, showing off excellent knowledge of the ATB system and Kainazo's scripts, and is rewarded with go mode.
So at this point, Baka just needs to go pick up another character. Oh look, there's some crystal armor for your Cecil.
Yeah, why not?
So I see Baka going straight to Mysidia, turning in that Darkness Crystal. Probably is going to go check that Moon character, because Poerum is a wonderful white mage, but we'd much rather have Rosa if she's available.
And Penguin8r did take the waves, but as we can see, that one was already down to 300. Avenger Kane's putting Kainazo in his shell. It's not going to be as clean as Bakashinobi's, but he's going to get through. It's fine. Avenger Kane says, wham! Real quick.
So Baka is at 7 key items, and you notice he did not decide to do the cannon room on the way down. Probably not even going to worry about trying to get to that 10 key item mark. Just like, let's go now.
No, yeah. And yeah, completely agree, Netsky. You get through the fight at the end of the day, that's what matters.
But in the meantime, Penguin is through as well, has his Darkness Crystal.
Oops.
Working his way down the tower. With Baka taking these trap chests looking for extra loot, I believe, Penguin might actually go take a lead here.
Yeah, I think he's going to get out first. Especially get how the timing worked out on that Chimera alert. Might prove worthwhile for Bakashinobi. Crystal Ring is not terrible, but not amazing. Give its wearer 5 points of agility, which is good for agility manip and protect from paralysis, and it's got great defense, but look out for the inventory boss.
Penguin going to go make a check. Baka's already made. Find those either twos in Tomra, or actually take it back. It was Penguin who found them in the first place. My fault. But picks up some more because I got a feeling we're going straight to Mysidia, and we're going to set up for a grind.
Yep, and this is the next moment where penguin8r managed to overtake in tower by not checking the chests, so missed out on the little bit of value there, taking the lead, but the grind could very easily turn that around.
One thing I want to mention, going back to that Magus Sisters group match between penguin8r and Baka. Baka won that race by doing a grind, whereas penguin8r tried to go and do low-level strats, and unfortunately took a very bad wipe. So this might be a situation where penguin8r is going to be like, no, I'm going to grind, I'm going to make sure I've got the levels, and I'm ready to go.
You know, I can't recall if I've ever gotten an Hourglass 1 as a drop while setting up a D-Machine manip.
Well, I know it's possible, and I've seen some runners, most notably Zilch, make that same attempt looking for hourglasses before heading to a fight. To answer a question I saw in chat, why did he reset? In order to do the manipulation, you make a save, then you reset, which clears the seed value, basically your step count. And then you start counting your steps. So when you get to a certain step, you can look and see on a lovely chart that was made by community member Twisted Flax with data provided by Simbu, how many more fights you need and where the fight will be.
And the reason that it's being done this way in this tournament is that the can't run flag is on. The old way of finding the D-Machine fight was to just go straight into the giant and run from encounters until you found it, but that is far too dangerous. Can't run on.
And Baka doing exactly what I thought he would do. He's going to go up to the moon, check and see who that character is.
Also give the shop a quick look.
Yeah, never a bad idea to go say hi to the Hummingways. Ooh, cabins and vampires.
Vampires if you want to do low level, but we got Tella.
In the meantime, Penguin is entering the giant. We're about to start getting his grind on.
lunar character for Bakashinobi is another Kane. Quick reset. Does mean he'll have to sit through the cutscene again, but given that he saved all the way down on Earth, makes sense.
Yeah, that was going up there to basically just check for that character. More likely hoping for that Rosa. As soon as I saw it wasn't Rosa, it's like, all right, let me go get a Porum. I'll take the white mage I can get.
And penguin8r has 2 beamers, so the odds are very good that he's done his manip correctly. We'll be seeing D machines shortly.
But yeah, Baka going directly back over to Baron, going to set up his manipulation. And we are very shortly going to have dueling grinds.
Darkness was at top of tower, behind Kainazo.
And I believe we have seen 3 Cecils or only 2?
3. Started with Cecil. Cecil was second character, and Cecil was also on Hobbs. Bakashinobi not getting a good number on his first result, resets and continues counting. penguin8r, I think, took about 20 some odd steps to get his fight, whereas Bakashinobi's resetting a lot faster, not willing to go into the deeper parts of the manipulation.
I wonder if Baka feels behind for some reason here. I mean, again, 44 minutes in, we're in once again a jet suit.
You know that you're up against penguin8r. You know penguin8r does have a reputation for being drawn to the tower. Tower key was from Sheila 1, if I remember right.
Correct. Tower key was Sheila 1.
So it's possible on this seed that you take your magma, you go underground, you find that freebie, you set up Sheila 1, get a tower, immediately run up the tower. You've got to deal with it Kainazo. So you've got to get some hit points on you, or just be really aces with the script. But it's possible to have gotten into go mode well before 45 minutes.
And ground fire, our wonderful Restreamed, that's 11 steps for Baka's fight, correct? So if I'm reading the chart right, that means he needed to take a second fight and then there's going to be in the save room. Did he take that second fight?
You are reading the chart right, and thank you, Ground Flyer. And having set that up, Bakashinobi is now free to do pretty much anything he wants before going to the Giant. The only things he can't do are get into another random encounter and reset the game.
In the meantime, penguin8r's grind going pretty good for right now. That wheat coming out from Tella on the D machine, that nice little silver staff bonk with Cecil.
Triggering D machine with a Lilith Rod. Well, if it's 12, then he didn't need to take another fight. 12 is 0E, I believe.
That's what I see on my chart.
Yeah, so that means that he doesn't need another fight, and he's going straight to the element.
For those of you wondering what charts we're talking about, you can always check out more. I put the link in chat for the Free Enterprise main site, and on there is a link to our Discord. And if you have never played or are interested in Free Enterprise, there is a wonderful newbies channel that is a place you can ask any question you want to about the randomizer, and someone, if they know it, will try to answer it for you.
Yeah, I cannot say enough about how helpful and super welcoming this community is. I didn't start running it until the end of the Fabul Gauntlet myself, and still felt like diving into this tournament and had a decent run at it, and that's all a credit to how helpful everyone in this community is when someone comes along and wants to learn how to make this happen.
In the meantime, Baka is climbing the tower. Looks like heading up. We'll see if Baka takes a safety save here before going into the elements room to trigger the fight.
Nope, just going right in. Penguin8r landing a double life glitch. Get him out of the grind a little faster, possibly.
Yeah, the only quote-unquote bad thing for Penguin8r is there's no slingshot here. Taking the full party when he did ended up having everybody getting levels, so everybody is around the same median and not gonna get a slingshot. But we have my favorite effect. We've got the mirrored fight.
And same party composition on both sides. Juggled order a bit, but otherwise very much a mirror. But yeah, probably for both people, I'm trying to think about the break point where you want to cut this grind off as far as what your goal is. Just depends on how you're approaching the fight. I think probably you're still taking Palom to nuke in both cases. Do you trust Cecil and Kane to take down Z?
No, I think we take Palom the nuke, and I'm looking, depending on exactly what level those Paloms are, we're looking at 11 plus 11, I think, for our D machines.
Yeah, and for Porum, that'll put her in the neighborhood of white, depending on what her level is compared to Palom going in over on Penguin8r's side. But that'll still leave the hit points a little marginal for surviving a Big Bang, depending on what gear she's wearing. Bakashinobi getting a slingshot off of all of that for Porum. Porum's hit points and stats are going to let her handle a Big Bang casually.
So, fun little fact, looking at the spreadsheet, Palom's nuke and Porum's holy, their D machine numbers are pretty much exactly the same all the way down. Porum actually gets one less needed every 5-level jump.
Yeah, they both learn it at the same level, right? 52?
Yes, 52.
Yeah. So, with needing to take an unslingshotted Palom to nuke, neither grind, Bakashinobi's grind isn't going to be any shorter, but the Z fight might be a little more stable. And Penguin8r's wrapping it up now, puts Virus on Cecil the Anchor, and is going to rack in that XP. Cool 937,700.
Yeah, 43 levels on the white mage, probably going to be about the same for the black mage. That should easily get them up to nuke and white respectively. And for Baka's, I like the idea of slingshotting the Porum because, again, she's got some very bad HP growth. By having to do the full 4 Palom, Porum's going to get those extra levels, get that extra HP.
Porum got a slingshot for Penguin8r. Porum's level 62. Penguin8r set that up somewhere along the way. Made sure Porum was 5 levels below his median character. So even though he's had her along, makes a very heads-up move to make sure that she gets double XP here. That's huge.
So Penguin8r are going to run straight to the moon, straight down to that ribbon room. Will be the first to show us who is waiting for us down there. And I'd say at this point has probably about a 5-minute lead on Baka.
Yeah.
Again, that can all change depending on who's down here in the ribbon room, as well as a couple other factors. Let's say Penguin8r decides to take a safety save and Baka decides just to swag walk it down. That could also get caught up a little bit.
Yeah, but ultimately, this is Penguin8r's lose. Their party composition is going to be well nigh identical. So whatever boss is rude for one of the party will be rude for the other. It's just going to come down to, is it a party that's trickier for one runner to handle than the other?
To answer a question in chat, the playoff flag set and the lunar table are actually one and the same. The tournament was set up where we had the group phases, which was one flag set, and then the table and the playoffs are the same flags.
Yeah, the only difference now is that the top 16 runners moved into a bracket, and yesterday the top 4 of those 16 held a draft to determine where in the bracket the other runners went. And we're now moving on in the best of 3 format for all matches except for the final. It will be best of 5.
And while Baka is working on the grind and Penguin is running down to that ribbon room, I'll go over those matchups real fast. We have 4 different divisions. We have the Darkness Crystal division, which is where Penguin8r and Baka are matching up. Opposite of them, they have X Pancraz and Slippery. We've got the Spoon division, which features Dusty Griff taking on Venerable, and then Aizen Tayama taking on Zyrak. We've got the Pinktail, which is Dia taking on Possum Morpheus, and Coffee and Chocobos taking on Antidale. And then the Earth Crystal, which is a Stone Bingley taking on Zilch, and PK4787 taking on Flurry 14.
And each of those top 4 runners got to name their own division. They just were restricted to naming it to a key item. Penguin8r is about to complete that walk. Give us a look at the ribbon room boss. Is it something rude and spicy, like that Keinazo was, or is it something super free like that King Queen F?
Well, at this point, I think the only 2 bosses that might even pose a threat here would be an Ogopogo or a Valvalis. So even Valvalis isn't going to be that bad because we have Kane at the point.
It's a little light.
Discount Ogopogo.
Pretty much. I don't know how bad the Ice 2 is going to sting, but it's nothing this party can.
Yes, free in quotation marks. I agree with that.
Free-ish. And no Firebird lover. There was no Harp division. I mean, Dusty has a very nice Harp emote, but we all know Spoon is his first love.
See, I was just going to say it means that the top 4 don't love the people and are all heels.
And yeah, Kane takes 261 off of that ice. It's possible he's got Dragoon gear that halved the damage, but even so, if that's the case, ooh, big. If you've been fortunate enough to name a division, Gambit, what would you have taken?
I honestly don't know.
I'd go Legend Sword. If you don't know by now my love of Paladin, Cecil, and Holy Swords, that just don't know me.
I don't know. I might have gone package just because I want to be a big boom.
That's
But in the
valid.
meantime, Penguin8r getting the crystal, defeating that ribbon room. It's about this time of the seed that we have a question to ask.
We do. Flags showing up in chat, and I've been told time and time again that those flags do not mean nap time. What those flags instead mean are it is time to find out whose butt are we going to kick tonight?
So, for those of you who might be turning in and this is your very first Highway to the Demon Zone or Free Enterprise match, Threemus, the final boss, can't really randomize him into the boss pool. He's a little bit too powerful to find as a first boss in this game or something. So we leave him alone, we leave him in his spot. But we do want to do something special with him. So instead, we randomize his appearance. Crafted by Boardface and Skylight Kitty, we have over 460, I think, different sprites currently in the pool. And we'll see what Threemus decides to transform into today. What's one of your favorites, Commander?
I've got a lot of close seconds, but my single most favorite is Threemus. Before I ever started running this, he showed up in a Fabul Gauntlet match, and I absolutely lost it when a twice-baked potato showed up across from the party.
I think I'm liking Mechalink's suggestion in chat. Let's have Job Dwarfness because of the vengeance.
I like it. And yeah, at some point, we'll get to 470, and Scala will say, "We're at 470 now!" It's just keep on coming.
Meantime, Baka, through his grind, has very high-level characters. Probably going to be doing the same thing Penguin did, dive that moon. Unfortunately, it might be too little too late, because there's the crystal, here's the transformation, and let's find out whose butt it is.
Yeah, I don't... Never take Threemus for granted, but I'd be surprised for Penguin8r. Oh, hello.
It's Lotus Smith. The Lotus boss from Battle Kit for our wonderful Scholar Kitty.
Straight away with a nuke as his initial nerf. Yeah, Penguin8r is just charging right in. Not holding back one bit.
Yeah, swap to that Avenger on that Kane. Is got the Starbell up on that Cecil.
Cecil's trying. Silver Staff bonk for 93 damage.
I know it might be a tall order here, but I totally want to see a Silver Staff bonk be the killing blow.
Yeah, that would be pretty swag. And yes, Maggie the Cat, Cecil was the starting.
Penguin8r pulling out the Unicorn strats.
Canceling the Berserk. Looking to take out Threemus without triggering the H-point refill.
Yeah, ooh, that was a bit of a long pause. That might have been the trigger, though.
Might have missed. We'll see.
Yeah, that was a direct nuke, I believe. That was a miss on the refill skip.
Okay. Oh, and it may come down to, does Aurum have the HP and the magic resistance to handle an unnerfed Big Bang? I like her chances, but no guarantees.
Yeah, either way, penguin8r should be able to get through this without too big of an issue. Has those either two, so MP is not going to be an issue here. Just going to take a little longer than penguin8r probably wanted.
I'll put the Cure 2 on to make sure that Orum's feeling fit and ready. Here's a shake. Gonna get a big bang.
I think penguin8r is going to see one more big bang. I don't think there's any way around it.
Might get big bang into rocks then. That does not sound pleasant.
Tele helping out doing single cast Cure 4 to get everybody's HP back up. But there's that big bang. Porum survives this, we're fine.
Porum's through casually. Putting a Cure 4 around. Got the levels to get the will to get the magic defense. Yep, is down, Chasman. We won't be seeing a Silver Staff kill steal.
A little bit of unlucky timing there for penguin8r. Tosses the Starbell on Porum or Palom, and then gets a black hole immediately.
And the nuke goes after Palom.
But that does tell us that we are in phase 2.
Still in phase 2, not tipped to rocks, and now come back-to-back big bangs if penguin8r doesn't get Threemus down to 12,000 hit points or less. No sense holding Kane back now. You're just charging ahead with as much. Oh, and there are the rocks.
Yeah, Kane and Porum have plenty of HP. Palom dodges. This one's all but over at this point.
Yes, it is.
Meantime, Baka does complete the Ribbon Room, gets his crystal. Unfortunately, too little, too late. There's the flash boom.
penguin8r taking down the first match of the playoffs, avenging his Magus Sisters group defeat at the hands of Bakashinobi with an official time of 1 hour, 4 minutes, and 45 seconds. GG.
Let's see if we can get penguin8r in here for an interview.
penguin8r with a victory video. Wouldn't be penguin8r without a penguin showing up yet.
I believe we are joined by our winner himself, penguin8r. GG's on that victory.
Thank you, thank you.
So I imagine you're looking at the objectives before the screen opens and thinking, well, underground and moon, and then suddenly a magma key appears. What were your thoughts coming right out of the gate?
Yeah, so even before the race started, I was kind of joking with Baka about racing him with 2 darkness crystal objectives, potentially having another jet seed. Our match before in this tournament was pretty similar, although this time we did have to go underground. So yeah, it was humorous seeing that magma key. I kind of wanted to go underground as soon as I could in case darkness crystal popped out. Fortunately, it didn't pop out until a little bit later, since I ended up clearing overworld. I got everything I wanted in the overworld. Just the twins, Kane with a flame spear, so I figured I'd go ahead and clear the overworld in case a pan pops up, and then go through my underground freebies and swing back to Fabul.
Yeah, how did you feel going, clearing overworld first and going underground and seeing that King Queen Evelyn in the king spot?
So that was a little unfortunate. Seeing that I knew I effectively took a little bit of a time loss, not having done that earlier and gotten that early experience to help with overworld clearing. But overall, it wasn't too bad. The bosses I had fought weren't too hard. Twin Cast got me through most of them in 1 or 2 hits, so I feel like I didn't lose all that much from it.
And a nice heads up move by you to drop Orim near the end of clearing out before your grind, setting up that slingshot. She definitely appreciated those extra levels going into that Z fight.
Yeah, she kind of didn't have that much use at that point. With Tella getting Berserk, he effectively can do pretty much everything she would want to do. I would have liked to also have the slingshot on Palom so I can cut my entire grind in half, but it's a little bit harder with him because you do tend to want him casting Quake and doing damage when you're doing those mid-game fights, so it's a bit of a gamble to short him on experience. So I didn't go fully with the double slingshot.
So you've got 1 win. You can afford to drop 1 and still have a good chance. Does that make things a little less stressful starting the second race, or is it still pretty much the same thought, I've still got to get this done?
To be honest, we scheduled this so fast, within 24 hours basically since the draft. I didn't really have time to stress out about this one, so we'll see if I have time for the next one. I didn't even really review any matches going into this. Before the next one, I'll at least review this one, maybe a little bit more. So we'll see. Taking things one at a time for now.
Well, it does, as we said, put you at 1-0, put you in great position to move moving on. You have any final thoughts on the seed or the tournament as a whole so far?
GG Jabaka on the first race. Hopefully next race we get to play a little bit more of the seed. See a little bit more of the World of Free Enterprise for once.
Well, GG's to you as well, Penguin8r. Thanks for putting on a great show. 104, great time for any table flag seed.
And that was our winner, Penguin8r, taking down no victory. Meantime, Bakashinobi is in the Z fight. Looks like things are going pretty smoothly for him. Wouldn't be surprised to see a flash boom here momentarily.
And from the spoiler log, Forge was entirely on the moon. Legend Sword was at the Crystal Sword altar, and Adamant was at the Murasame.
So moon hard required. Not just double, hard required this seed.
Yep. There's a shake. Quick Cure 2 potion on Kane to help him survive the incoming bang.
Yeah, it looks like Baka was going full reflex strats here. Has not attacked with Kane that I've seen. And there's the crack boom. Bakashinobi gets through Lotus Miss. Unfortunately, not quite enough to take down Bakashinobi. Final time of 1 hour, 10 minutes, 41 seconds. GG's.
Still a very solid time, just for a jet seed. Like we said at the beginning, all of the racers here are great, and these two, no exception. There's just little room to give anything.
I believe we are joined by Bakashinobi now. GG's.
Sorry about that. I had the wrong audio device plugged in.
All right, we've all been there. Close. Not quite there. Almost.
Yeah, I realized that I was very hesitant. I'm very confident in double nuke reflex strats. I know exactly what the timing is on those, but nuke white with Porum I'm less confident in, so I decided I tried to go and find some treasures in towers. Like, can I pull a good weapon for Cecil and just slingshot a Porum, have an all-powerful Cecil, and let everyone else just kind of be there? The answer was no, and after I saw the dot done come in when I got my crystal, I decided to do a bit of science and learned that, yeah, I could have just over-leveled Porum and done reflex strats pretty safely. So, that is a lesson for next time. Another lesson for next time. Get Thor Rages. They're really helpful. Not even if you need to use them against Kanais or anything. They're just helpful for going and doing reliably hitting searchers.
Yes, they're very popular for that.
That was another mistake I made. This is a point I could not afford to make any of this level of mistakes against, and I needed to go and be more decisive as I was indecisive going down that tower.
Yeah, you got through that Kainazo very cleanly, and we're out of that fight in front of Penguin8r. He actually passed you as you were opening up those trap chests.
That makes a lot of sense, because I knew I burned time there once I realized this is not giving me anything, and then there was that one that had like 2 summons or whatnot. So that was a silly play that I played into variance, and it wasn't necessary. It was something that I should have just focused on. Well, I clearly know now that Porum and Palom can go and do a reflect kill. If I overlevel Porum a bit, she's going to be fine DPS. And Palom is Palom. He's great. He's always going to go and do a lot of work. So, if I found Cure 3s as well, I would have been more accepting of that, but that's something I should have gone and searched for a bit better sooner. But
So, like, with the Jet Seed, like, I mean, you know this. You've been through plenty of in this tournament. Yep. It's tough when you have no time to figure out all of the things that you need to do to get to Z, but you're having to get in that mode immediately.
Yeah, that's the hesitation is what got me there, and it clearly shows. Player of Penguin8r's caliber does not need to go, and you can't afford that kind of hesitation. You have to commit, and I should have committed to reflect and just gone straight down the tower, pulled up, did my grind. Should have also picked up my Thor Rages and got my shopping done sooner as well. That is something that I also made mistakes on, where I didn't check for Bool when I went in there. I even forgot to go and check Sheila 1. I thought I checked Yang once for Sheila 1 and didn't do that because I saw the King of Famers in there and got distracted by that to go up and pick up characters. There's a lot of places I could clean up on that race, so I will need to focus on cleaning those up a bit more for the next race if I want to go and stay in this.
Well, the good news is it is a best of 3, so you do get a second chance at Penguin8r. I believe that race is scheduled for Wednesday night, correct?
You're correct. It is currently scheduled for Wednesday night, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern.
We look forward to seeing that match. Do you have any final thoughts on this one or the tournament as a whole so far?
I've been having a great lot of fun with this tournament. Group flags were a nice departure from a lot of our tournament flags, where they definitely were a bit easier and more generous, but you could really go fast in those. You could really blitz through them. Table making the character, making it so it's not as restrictive of C5, where maybe sometimes you just have to do a hook route with 2 or 3 characters maybe. But you have the options of trying to finishing off your team and just get all the characters you exactly want, and then having to go and just say, all right, I'm taking characters now, I have to just accept this and move on. It has been a really interesting thing, and that's something that even cost me time in this race, because I went up to the moon to check for another black mage rather than taking Porum. So lots of interesting stuff to go and see in these flags. It's a real testament to how good of a randomizer free enterprise is and how flexible it is. These are just 2 different sets of flags, and they're pretty different, and we can do so much more. So I really like that this tournament is showing that off pretty well.
Well, thank you for putting on a good show. Even though you weren't able to pull ahead today, looking forward to Wednesday night, where you two are going to battle it out once again. And I know you're hoping for a different result, and we look forward to seeing it.
I'm going to do my best to make this exciting. Thank you all, and have a great evening.
Good night, Baka.
Good night. You've already succeeded. It's been exciting. I'm sure it will continue to be.
In the meantime, we're going to be quiet for just a minute while we've got the wonderful Finheart music, Butterfly, playing. Let you guys get that, and then we'll close her out. All right, so Commander, again, with the perspective coming from the Maga Systems group, seeing Baka and Penguin8r and once again a Jet seed, and Penguin8r coming up on top, what are your final thoughts on this seed?
Not at all surprised to see Bakashinobi in another Jet seed. Groundflyer's been known for rolling his Rude seeds, but the power of Bakashinobi was too strong when it came to determining the fate of the seed. Also, not at all surprised to see Penguin8r get his revenge here. Their first match was nice and close, as was this. I could easily see Bakashinobi turning us around on number 2 and giving us a great 3-way match.
We're going to have to unfortunately wait until Wednesday to see round 2 of this one. But fear not, because we have more free enterprise action going on right now. We're going to go send you guys over to the free enterprise channel where Antidale and Coffee and Chocobos are going at it. I do want to say, please do not spoil the results of this race for those in that chat. We want them to be able to go check the VOD if they want to. Also want to, once more time, shout out the behind the scenes people. Groundfire doing the restream tonight. Midsky1 doing our tracking. My wonderful co-commentator, CommanderLeonhart. Thank you guys so much for being here with me.
And Gambit, you are a wonderful co-commentator as well. Glad to get a chance to be in the booth with you. Looking forward to the next one.
So am I, my friend, so am I. But you guys have a wonderful rest of your night and enjoy the more free enterprise action.